Welcome to the Geeky fellow geeks. I am going to be doing. Oh, let's open a beverage of your choice. By the way, I am going to be reviewing. I guess from what I understand is the new attempt at rebooting Tales from the Crypt, or not Tales from the Crypt, but the EC horror line, with epitaphs from the Abyss. This would be number one. There's a couple different covers on it. And they even started have a new host, as opposed to, the witch, the crypt keeper. Yeah, this one is the grave digger. All right, now I'm sure many of you are familiar with at least the TV series and the movies, if not the old comics themselves. I've done reviews of the Vault of Horror collections and stuff like that, which are all right up in here that I'm done with them. These are true classics of the industry, pre-code horror, and just for obvious reasons considered classics because they were just so good. And so I can understand why EC would make an attempt to restart the series, to bring it back, especially with the resurgence of horror comics. And I'm just gonna give my opinion as to whether or not it's worth it. Now, I'm gonna put right here. I'm gonna try and put a shot or two of the actual art from some of the original comics. If you look at the art, some of the art is just incredible. It was gory. It was, depending on who did it, Graham Ingalls, people like that. It was just some incredible art that went with these little short horror stories with little twists at the end. They looked good. They were just, depending on some of them, some of the people like Ingalls had these, worked the ghastly zombies with the flesh falling off, and other people had, different styles, but they all just looked incredible to go with these 98% of the time really awesome stories. You'd have the cheating wife who with her boyfriend murders the husband or does something to the husband, and he comes back to get him, or reversal of it, the horrible husband bumping off his wife for the money or the insurance, and her coming back, or the vampire or the werewolf stuff. Great stories. Then every once in a while they'd have these other things, and that is one of the reasons why people would just, it was great. So now they're coming back to do this. You have the first one in here is called Killer Spec, which is by Brian Azzarello. Was it Brian Azzarello? No. I'm sorry. Jay Hotham. About a writer who is excuse me, it's kind of a commentary on these people that sit in Starbucks to write stories and talk about, they think that they're great writers, and they're doing the great stories, and how they're going to be famous and do these awesome novels or whatever, and who aren't what they think they are. And he's got a friend who goes and is inspired by this guy to write a horror story, and he wants him to look at it. And the thing is incredible. It's one of the best stories he's ever read, so he kills him and takes credit for himself. And of course the guy, it happens. Bad things happen. So this is it's an attempt at being like the old comics, but also a kind of a commentary on modern society, and a good attempt at the beginning, but I could kind of see it coming. But if you look at, once you get past that initial page with the artwork on here, which that right there is awesome. The art is flat and kind of mid at best. It's nowhere near like what it's nowhere near the standards that was set by the previous comics. Nor is the story. I don't like using the word mid, but it was kind of just, you sort of knew what was going to come. It's not super, it's not really entertaining. The artwork, or uninspired, okay, we can go with that. Sort of like the actual guy in the character in the story. The story is not inspired, and the art goes along with it, not inspired. But then you get a one called Senator, which again is a commentary on, this one is on politics, and it's not good, nor is the other story in here, which is actually written by, there's one called Family Values, which kind of an interesting story, but it's done not well. And then finally one with Brian Azzarello. They're all just not really good. And the what part that gets me is the Senator. It goes in a place where they never really did with the original things. They go into the old EC stuff. If they ever did anything with a politician, you never knew where, you knew the politician was crooked, but you didn't know, what side that politician stood on. And this one is just, it's taking a side. No matter what, and it's, I want to read this stuff and just have, a good time and read it. I don't want to be kind of lectured on, okay, this side is, bad, and this, just leave kind of politics out of it. You can't really, you can do a story about a politician without putting stuff into it, if you understand what I'm getting at, and the stories aren't really that good. I mean, especially if you look here, this ending one is not. I mean, this is not art that should be done in a supposedly top-notch book. And that, unfortunately, kind of matches the story, or the stories that have been in here, and so it's just, I can't sit here and recommend this book. I had high hopes that they were going to live up to what it was in the past, or at least match it, or go over it. I knew for 90% sure it wasn't going to surpass the old stories, and I was just kind of hoping that they'd be just as good or close, and this isn't. It's just not good for the most part. Stories are just okay at best. The art can be not even okay. It's all around not not what I consider being a worthy successor to the original comics. So I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5, and unfortunately not recommend getting this book. Anyway, and I'm not going to be getting the second. I can't say that I'm not going to. I don't intend to get the second, but I could just succumb and see. But yeah, let me know what you thought of it, if you read it, and like, subscribe, most of all. Try and enjoy your horror comics.